NBC News has learned that one American pilot was rescued by the U.S. military after an F-15 U.S. fighter jet was shot down over Iran. And that pilot who was rescued is still, in fact, alive. That is according to a U.S. official. Another American pilot is still, though, unaccounted for. I want to bring in our senior national security correspondent, Courtney Kube, who's standing by for us. Courtney, this is a fast-moving story here. What are we learning?
Yeah, so at this point, it's literally developing minute by minute. According to a U.S. official, it does appear that this F-15E, it's often known as a Strike Eagle, that it was shot down by Iran. It's deep inside of Iranian territory. The two pilots are believed to have ejected from that aircraft. And as you mentioned, we now know, according to a U.S. official, that at least one of those individuals has been recovered alive. We don't know anything else about that person's condition. Search and rescue efforts remain underway right now. Now, what's standard in a case like this, the U.S. has gone to war in Iran. In advance of a big military action like this, the U.S. would generally put forward in the region something known as a personnel recovery team. In this case, most likely, just given the operational tempo and the size of this war, they would have put multiple personnel recovery teams. And they are on a constant standby while the U.S. is flying any kind of combat missions like this, so that if there is something that happens where U.S. Service members go down essentially behind enemy lines, they can respond immediately to go in and try to find those individuals. Now, this is the first time that we know about that a manned aircraft has gone down inside Iran as part of this war. And it's significant, Yasmin, and that is because it dispels this idea that the U.S. has complete and total autonomy or control over the airspace over Iran right now. While they may have largely control over it, that doesn't mean that it is not a dangerous mission for U.S. men and women who are flying over there. There are hundreds of targets that they are still striking every single day. That is manned and unmanned. But we know that in recent days, the U.S. has really upped the number of bomber runs. So obviously manned bomber fighters, aircraft that have been flying over Iran. It still remains an extremely dangerous mission for them, Yas.
Yeah, it's a good point. We have heard repeatedly from Secretary of Defense Hegseth, along with the president as well, that the U.S. has complete and total control over the airspace within Iran. And now seeing the downing of this F-15 fighter jet certainly speaks to a different perspective as to this ongoing war. Court, do we have any reporting as to whether or not this individual, this fighter pilot, is actually still inside Iran and safe, or has he left Iran?
We don't. That's one of the questions that we're trying to figure out, is if they've actually gotten the individual out of the airspace and presumably to some sort of medical attention, and we don't know that quite yet. I mean, the situation remains very sensitive because obviously if the U.S. is looking for this second pilot, Iran is probably looking as well. And so right now it is really a race against time to see who can find that person first and hopefully find them alive and get them to safety and some sort of medical attention, anything that they may need to try to take care of them. But at this point, we just don't know. We keep waiting for more information out of the U.S. military, but the hours are just grinding on without a lot of detail.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.